So one of the things that's starting to become very apparent to me is pigs in general and big feral hogs are probably the most durable thing the average bow hunter is going to encounter. What keeps happening to us though is we've shot a lot of pigs with mechanicals, and we've either had spectacular results with crime scene blood trails or we've had nothing happen. I must be the only person on earth that happens to, because when I ask other people about it, they're like, oh, no, that never happens to us. We just shoot them with a mechanical and cut them in half. But that's not the results we're seeing. So watch this clip. I shoot a feral hog with a 400 grain arrow with a real popular mechanical. Let's see what happens. That wasn't the result you're really looking for, but that is the kind of thing we kept having happen. So we rarely shoot mechanicals, but I'm a curious dude, and I'm at 23 pigs this spring. It's March, and that's since January. So I shoot a lot of them, and I test a lot of things. I went back to a setup that's worked for me in the past. 190 grain grizzly broadhead, single bevel, with 100 grain brass or steel insert, and then 100 grain adapter in the shaft. It's 670 grains. Now that sounds like a ton of weight, but bow hunting distance in Texas, 20, 25 yards on a feeder shot, it's not that big a deal. So let's watch this next clip and see the results. Okay, so look, we're all reasonable here. Shooting one pig, and that was the same pig, by the way, in the same situation at the same distance in almost the same spot. So that's why it's kind of interesting footage. Actually, the odds of that happening are pretty low. That's what we kept seeing. We shoot a Magnus Stinger, Bear Razorhead, or those big grizzly single bevels, and we're blowing right through them, at least punching the broadhead all the way through the bigger pigs. Little pigs, you can shoot them with the mechanicals, but the big ones we always have had trouble with, and I'm going to continue shooting some pigs with them and see what happens. I'm telling you what, there couldn't be anything more fun to do in this whole freaking world, so stay tuned. So this is a normal size pig. He came in right after I shot the big one. The big one was chasing him around earlier. I just didn't show you all the footage. That's about 120 pound pig. Might as well retest the big grizzly and see what happens. So here's the first pig. He went about 60 yards, and I just wanted, for perspective's sake, there's a hole under that feeder the pigs have dug out, so he looked a little shorter than he was. But that's a back end of a Kawasaki mule, and I had to rodeo him up in there by myself. Anyway, when you go through this series, this feral hog shot placement series, and I say a big, substantial animal, this gives you some perspective on what I'm talking about. Eyes are a little crazy, but you can see this is like a mid-body shot. That is obviously in the lungs. I got it out of the spine, but this pig got knocked over. And look how mid-body that is. Big old ass. If the two-blade broadhead doesn't make a hole, then you probably ought to shoot that broadhead. Anyway, you can see how in the center that is, their spine is actually right here. And when that broadhead went in, it looks like a mid-body shot, nice and low, but it's not on a pig. All their lungs and heart, I bet that's a high lung shot. They're all right in here, although it worked out pretty good. So just keep that in mind. And if you shoot the single bevel, you get the U-shaped cut right there. It gets kind of nasty. Big as my finger.